So in this video we're going to look at bandwidth of our amplifier, and bandwidth is defined as when the output has dropped by 70% of its maximum value, so 70% of its maximum gain, 1 over root 2. Okay, so let's just pop that down. So if we look at that in an example, if we've got an amplifier that produces a gain of 60, then it will have a response curve that comes along like so, and then at some point in time the gain will start dropping off as frequency increases. And if we then take 70% of 60 is approximately 42, so we then go along, is going to be somewhere around about that point there, excusing the graph. So therefore, coming down here, that then would be our bandwidth. So we could read off there, so what's that, something like around about 80 kilohertz, sorry, about 82 kilohertz. Okay, 82 kilohertz. So and we could do exactly the same thing in reverse. If we were told that we've got an amplifier that's got a bandwidth of 82 and a maximum gain of 60, then we can then do the opposite. So we can go find 82 and take 70% of 60, put across, then draw a line that comes along, and then as we get close to our 82 kilohertz, we can then start to bring our line to come down like so. Just an approximate, but we can do it in the opposite way. Whereas reading off a graph, we can then obviously produce a graph. Let's move on to gain bandwidth product. So gain bandwidth product is something that the manufacturers, when they make their operational amplifiers, they quote as what the bandwidth of the amplifier is when it has a gain of 1. Now, most of the time we're going to not be using an amplifier with a gain of 1, but we can use this idea that if we know what the bandwidth is when it's a gain of 1, we can then factor in, well, okay, so what gain is going to be, so what bandwidth is going to be for the gain that we've got. So that's what we've got. When the gain is 1, we can multiply that by the bandwidth, because our gain bandwidth product. So we can use this idea more often than not to find our bandwidth. So our bandwidth, what we're interested in, is our gain bandwidth product, which the manufacturers quote, divided by the gain that we've got for our amplifier. So quite simply put, if we've designed a circuit, we want to know what the bandwidth is, what signals are we capable of handling, so we can then work out using our gain bandwidth product divided by the gain that we've created. So if I just take something that's got 1 megahertz, and we've got an amplifier created of 50, then we end up with handle signals up to 20 kilohertz. So just right at the top end of our possible audio signals. But so certainly we should be able to use our circuit within an audio application.